Hey everyone, good morning to all present here in this inaugural digital session of 8th International Congress on Information and Communication Technology. I welcome you wholeheartedly in this digital session, but with a hope that in next year, all these digital participants will become our physical participants in the 9th edition of this conference. To brief about this conference, this we had organized this conference in physical and digital modes, and the last 2 days were amazing with the participation of almost 85 to 90 people from across the, I think, 50 countries, and it was a really pleasure to meet them after COVID one-to-one and to network with them to acclaim the prosperity which the conference and the research participants are doing in a way that they are doing something for good for society, something good to make the people's lives better. And I hope with this zeal that how we can make people life better, more researchers will come up into their technical areas and do more good kind of research which will help our societies and generations to come. Moving ahead about this conference, that this conference has acclaimed approximately 1,600 research papers from across the globe, more than approximately 100 countries. And out of that, we accepted and registered almost 362 papers, which are from 88 different countries. And that's an amazing story which this conference is raising in terms of quality research, in terms of diversification of the participants from the international global community, and in terms of the research citations as well as the downloads which the Springer openly publicize it in a different way. And I also feel that with the diversification this conference, researchers also get an opportunity to interact and collaborate with their peers who are working in the same areas. And this collaboration, I think it is slightly difficult in digital environments, but it is not impossible. So I will request you to kindly go on to the different technical sessions, digital sessions, which will be organized in next 2 days again. And there are approximately 44 digital sessions in 2 days, which has approximately, you can say, uh, 260 people, I think 250 papers to be presented in these 2 days again in digital versions. So that will be a great hope to all the researchers that they will be doing something, contributing something good to the technical session, and as well as learning something out of those technical sessions. So that will be a really good idea. I hope that this conference will grow more, and the trust and the quality environment we have created with this conference among the researchers will regain the trust year after year, and we will all welcome you all in the 9th edition of this International Congress on ICT next year in London, one-to-one. Just to talk about more in detail, in depth of the conference. See, organizing a conference is not a very simple task, because there are a lot of technical things involved in and out to manage and to claim approximately 1,600 papers. So once we receive these papers, I'll just brief you about the process, how we do it in terms of quality, and how these are considered. So to start with the process, once the author submits the paper to our conference, it goes to a plagiarism check, which generally does. And once it is scrutinized through that, then it goes to the reviewers. Approximately 3 reviewers, the paper goes, and we hold the paper decision till we get the reviews from at least 2 of the researchers. So one researchers means they could be peers working in your own areas. They could be some from some international organizations like IEEE, ACM, and all that. So they all are reviewers, and reviewers are no one else. They are a part of your community also. So your peers could also be your reviewers. So moving in those directions, once we get the reviews, then we create a decision on that after consulting with our technical committee. And once we consult with our technical committee, we raise the decision to the author with the comments from the reviewers as well as from the technical committee side. So once these comments are received on the author's end, the authors rewrite their papers in terms of the comments and suggestions provided by the reviewers and the paper, and then they register for the conference. And once they register for the conference, they start getting the mails from the conference regarding the signing of copyright, regarding the registration completion process, regarding the different technical schedules, selecting of the slots, selecting of the participation mode, that physical or digital. So it's a long process again. And once you resubmit the final version of the paper to the conference, then the process starts of the presentation. Then you create a presentation, and then you present in the conference during a physical or digital versions. In the parallel process, your paper goes to the publication team or the publisher, in this case, which is Springer, Allen, and a series. And then the publisher also again reviews it in terms of their own standards and quality. And once it is bypass that quality check, then it goes for publication. And then you receive again the mails from the production team, the proof copy and everything. And then finally, after a long hold of time, it gets published. So it's a whole cycle time of 8 months or so, which an author has to face from start of their publication submission to the end of this publication once it is published. And in these whole of time, there are a lot of issues also which authors face. Sometimes they feel that their paper might got compromised. So there are a lot of new things which are coming up, and many of the universities authors have done it in this conference also, which have created the archives or the pre-pap versions of the papers already available on the different databases. So this is a new thing which you could follow in order to get more confidence on your paper, that it could not be compromised or your data could not be shared in any form. So with these all things, a researcher goes with a lot more things in the span of this time. But I really thank you all that you made it to this conference. Maybe you are not present yesterday and day before yesterday physically, but I think that you have made it to this conference and you are here for the digital version of the conference. We'll be presenting your papers in next 2 days. I wish you all the very best, and we look forward to your support and your contributions in the years to come. And I would personally request you to make yourself available to participate in the physical edition of the 9th International Congress in ICICT at London in next February 2024. Thank you so very much. And moving ahead, I think we have with us Mr. Anando Bose, who is the Executive Director of Springer and the publishing bodies residing in the London office of Springer. And I think that he's already here. So I think, Mr. Bose, are you here? Please.
Hi, Amit, I'm here.
Yes. Please go ahead with your talk. I just skipped Professor Tuba as he has not yet joined, and I will get back with Professor Tuba once he joins the digital forum.
Yeah. I will just share my slides so that. Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you have joined. I hope you all can hear me and see the slide very clearly on your desktops or laptops, right?
Thank you.
Is it visible, Amit? The slides are visible?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Very warm welcome. As Amit said, this is the 8th edition of the conference, and we have started this conference in 2015, and I will give you a small brief or journey about this conference to you and how the publication things are holding up. It is important for you to know because we are already in the 8th edition. We had fantastic last 2 days in London in physical mode. And I hope that next year, as Amit said, in the 9th edition, you all will be able to come physically. I cannot tell you, it's such a pleasure to be in a physical conference when we have 100 odd people, 100 authors sitting there from 40 countries and enjoying the conference, and the kind of deliberation and discussions we had during the breaks. And that is the best part of a conference, the takeaways. And we really enjoyed that. Coming back to the digital version, today we are having the first day of the digital thing, and tomorrow there will be more sessions. And we know this conference is actually getting a lot of papers, and thanks to all the authors for their participation. So I will just tell you briefly about two things. Firstly, about Springer. As you already know, this is an organization which started by the person whom you can see on your slides, by Julius Springer in 1842 as a small bookstore in Berlin. Then we came out and we started our publication activities. In 1924, we opened our another office in Vienna, and then after the Second World War in Heidelberg. Now we have another very big office in London, from where I actually operate. And this is a brief background about our organization. You people all know that we are working from 50 different countries, and we are helping all the researchers to publish their work in the form of journal articles, proceeding papers, or books. Coming to ICICT, which is the important information which I want to share with you. So we started this conference in 2015, as I said. The venue was Udaipur, and we published 2 volumes. It is one of the many conferences which was happening in that particular area. But ICT was extremely picking up at that point of time. So we got around 500 odd papers, and we managed to publish around 135 papers that year. But in 2016, the organizers, especially Amit, was not very happy to organize it in India. He said, I want to take it outside India and let me see where I can do. So we discussed everything. Then the conference was organized in Bangkok. And you can very well see that we came out with 1 volume with only 32 papers. So when you are basically moving a conference from one country to another country, it is not easy to manage or get papers. People who are doing conferences, they know very well. So we only published 32 papers, which has got very small download of 26,000 in these many years. 2017 was, we were not in a position to hold that conference, and Amit was doubtful whether to continue in Bangkok or to go back to India, so we were contemplating. And finally, he came out with this idea that he wants to do it in London. And that was a much bigger jump. And we were a little skeptical what exactly going to happen, whether we will get any paper, because in Bangkok it was 32, maybe it's 0 in London. But fortunately, we had a very good conference in 2018. It was 1 volume. We got around 450 plus submissions that year, and we only published 90 papers. And we got a fantastic support from Brunel that year. Eventually, from 2019, Brunel became a co-participant or co-organizer rather of the conference. And from 2019 to 2022, the story was changing. So number of papers increased heavily. As you can see now, this year we have around 1,600 papers, and we are publishing oddly like 360 odd papers. And this is the story for last 2 years also. We came out with 4 volumes. Papers are in the range of 355 and 302. And 2022 figures of downloads and citations look little low because they are just published, and we are still getting our downloads and citations are going on. But 2021, you can see it is quite stabilized now. Around 185 citations are done from 355 papers. So the whole thing is like, it is very important for you all the authors to understand, when you are basically participating in a conference, you need to check what is the background of the conference, who are the people involved in the conference, and how this conference is progressing. That is very important for you to know. And how you will know that? You go to the front matter of the previously published volumes. That is the best way to look at it, because the preface and the table of content will tell you in what are the scopes actually. Because when you go to a conference website, they talk about a lot of scopes, tracks, and everything, but actual scope and actual details you will find from the papers which are published. You get to see, okay, these are the papers this conference is actually publishing. These many number of papers are there, and this is the acceptance rate, this is the rejection rate, how many volumes are there, who all are actually contributing to the contribution is coming from. So these are important aspects which you need to see. And as Amit said, hopefully we will be looking forward to have more people, more participation in a physical mode in the 9th year, because physical mode is the mode of conference. You know, that the people, when they come, when they network, when they meet, that is the best way to do a conference. Virtually, we are always there, but virtually we miss the discussions, which are very important. And these small scientific discussions are very important. And there are certain things also, you know, they came up with the conference. Like this year, we had a visit to the artificial intelligence lab of Brunel University. And that was a fantastic thing, you know, that we have done. And we are thankful, and we appreciate the efforts of Professor Tatiana, and she will be here. I think she is here in the digital mode also. And she took all the effort to for all the authors and delegates to visit the AI lab. And these are the things which are missing in virtual conferences, but definitely you are a part of this conference and you are contributing to this conference for long. And people who are first time to this conference, enjoy the conference and have a fantastic day. And if you have any queries, then please write to me. If you have any queries related to publication, related to this conference or anything, then I will be happy to address them. My email ID is on the slides, anindo.bose@springernature.com. Please do write to me and let us start our communication. If anyone is interested to write a book, please do drop in a mail and talk to us, because ICT taught us that this is the era of communication, and communication is something which will build our networking, and networking is something which is required for our growth. Thank you. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.
I think I thank Mr. Bose for his wonderful address to this conference and the support he has raised over the years to take this conference to the 8th edition. And I think we will soon celebrate the decade anniversary of this conference in 2025. Moving ahead, we have with us Dr. Nilanjan De, who is the Associate Professor at Techno India College of Engineering, India, and who is also the program chair of this conference, and who will be addressing this session as of now, as the other speakers are still joining the conference. So I think Dr. De would be here to address you.
Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Good morning, all. So, good morning from London. So it was indeed a nice conference last 2 days in Brunel. This talk is on small data. So people are generally talk about big data, but how learning can be done by small data. I mean, machine learning. So I will try to give a brief idea on that. So initially, once we talk about machine learning, it very much depends on sensitive to the data which you are feeding for the training purpose. So if the data is garbage, so automatically the output will be garbage. So it's a kind of garbage in, garbage out. So the first thing in machine learning, it should be the data, it's a cleaning process. So we need to identify what data we are feeding. We might have lots of data, but it is important to identify good data. And what about the bad data? Bad data means it may be the inconsistent schema, it may be the extraneous text, missing value, redundant data, contextual, errors, the garbage values. So all are so-called bad data. So initially, what is important, that is, it's not about the more data, rather it is all about more good data. Like all good data are alike, but bad data sets are bad in their own way. So individually, we have to treat the data and what is the badness in that data, and we have to rectify that data so that we can get more and more data, which is so-called good data. Now, is there any proper heuristic which actually tells that how much data is good for machine learning? truly speaking, there is no as such heuristic which actually tells that this much amount of data is good for machine learning. We always looks for, more data, more clean data, more good data. So that is the important thing. Now, any deep learning, once we talk about deep learning, it's a kind of memorization technique. So it's a kind of model of interpolation. So generally, the main absence part of neural network is the underlying interrelationship or the underlying variable. The in between the relationship is missing part. It's not known to everybody. So that's why very limited capacity to deal with the variance. So it's not only the clean data, rather we need to come up with lots of variable data, because as much as possible variable data we can feed to the system, that training will be much more robust. So to overcome this limitation, what we need all possible different aspects of variation. So these are the second point, that is, it's not about good data, rather it's about good variable data. So that is the second important thing. Now, deep learning is far away from integrating all those abstract knowledge. Actually, we only look into the result. We not that much bother about what the objects are or what they are for or how they typically use all these questions. But if you look into a 7-month infant, you will see they are trying to come up with some certain rules. Maybe from unlabeled data set, they come up within few minutes, some certain kind of rule they are trying to find out, extracting. But deep learning, this lack of abstraction, for that reason, what we need millions of data, sometimes trillions of data. So there are typically two questions. One question, as I already said, how much data is good for the training? And the second question is how much robust all these deep learning frameworks are. So if you simplify these things, you will see if there is a single point and we are trying to fit a curve, if we increase the number of points, the generalization will be much more better. So as the number of point increases, the generalization will be much more better. Similarly, if the number of point increases, the point estimation will be better in the linear regression. And if you look into the KNN, you will see number of points, the partition depends upon that. Even for the hierarchical structure also, the splitting also depends upon the number of points. So data points is important. But the problem is, we don't have generally lots of data in many cases. Before going to that part, what is the major problem of small data? Once we deal with the small data set, the first problem is it's actually revolve around a high variance. There is a major issue of overfitting. And if there is an outlier, it is sometimes very dangerous, because if the data set is very less and there is a presence of outlier, which is very common, in the perturbation or noise is a very common thing. So in real-time framework, if there is outlier, it's a big challenge. So these are the main difficulties with dealing with the small size data set. Now, a little bit of history. Once we talk about ImageNet, which is having 14 million data set, 80,000 distinct category, which actually given by Professor Lee's group in 2009 from Stanford University. Initially, during the period of shallow machine learning, the error rate was 28 to 20. Gradually it moves to 26%. But if you look into 2012, once AlexNet introduced, there is a huge dip of 10%. So it starts from 26, it dip into 16%. Now, gradually, after 2014, once ResNet introduced, it's become lesser than the human error rate. But if you look into the number of parameters, it is something surprising, because dealing with 80,000 category, if you try to come up with only 1,000 categorization, then it needs 60 million parameters, 6.5 intermediate nodes, which is huge. That number of parameters you need to tune. So that's why we need lots of hardware, lots and lots of data, and millions of parameters you need to tune. So complexity getting increase in this kind of framework. Yes, it is indeed always good to spend more time and money for gathering data, gathering clean data, gathering variable kind of clean data. So the problem is, once somebody is working in the, say, maybe in the domain of medical image processing or maybe healthcare segment, the one challenge is gathering the data is human annotation, because it always takes lots of time. It's a time consuming process, because doctor don't have that much of time to, or the clinician expert don't have that much of time for coming up with benchmark data. And almost all different countries have their own different data privacy laws, protection laws, and all these regulations are there. Even patients are also sometimes reluctant to share their data. So what we are trying to do, in some cases, we are dealing with 14 million data set. We are trying to deploy AlexNet or ResNet. Similarly, maybe 1,000 X-ray or maybe 1,000 CT images, we are trying to deploy the same framework. So it's a kind of, I mean, data is important, but getting data is sometimes very, very challenging task. So people always, generally we try to emphasize on big data, but there are lots of cases. Once we try to come up with some prediction model of some maybe kind of pandemic or the data set, initially it's a very rare kind of data. In the cases of medical imaging, any chronic disease, the data set is available of data set is very, very less. So there are some generic technique for like image manipulation technique, which actually helps to augment the data, like geometric deformation. I mean, if you go for transformation, geometric transformation, maybe translation, rotation, flipping, maybe zoom in, zoom out, shading, stretching, or maybe if you change the contrast level, the variance, equalization, etc., which gives you lots of different multifold images from a single image, by which you can increase your data size. There are a few, I mean, other technique like, say, for example, random cropping, which actually comes in 2017. Then maybe the mixing of two different images, background, foreground images by alpha blending technique, or maybe the Gaussian blur. Maybe you change the variance level of the kernel and you change the different image. You come up with lots of different variants of the image. So if you have one image, you can come up with n folds image. In this way, we can come up with different images. But the major issue is, if you look into all those augmentation technique, you will see generally we are creating lots of repetitive data. Means we are trying to feed more and more repetitive data, because all these images are somehow biased, because they are actually created from the original image, which is a mother image. So almost all these augmented image or the augmented image which you are generating by any kind of this kind of manipulation technique are somehow biased technique. So we are feeding redundant information to the machine learning, which maybe makes the whole model bias. So one solution can be GAN. I mean, most of all of us, we have ever about the GAN. It's a kind of image-to-image translation. We can change from winter to, say, autumn season, autumn to summer, or maybe summer to winter, etc. But it is always computationally intensive, though it is a robust technique. So we need a cheaper solution. One cheaper solution, which was introduced a few years back, which is called the neural tile transfer, where we change the texture, the ambience, the appearance, style, etc. Say, for example, this one, based on the study stands for the music. What we actually do, we change the texture of the image, we change the background, etc. Similarly, I'm not talking about the GAN, because I mean, everybody knows this framework nowadays. So how to create the synthetic image by generating the fake images, and discriminator task is to just to classify, I mean, is it a fake image or it's a real image? So we are feeding from the latent image space, we are generating the fake images, passing through the generator. And once it's passed to the discriminator, it actually identify from the, is it a real image or it's a fake image? It's based on the game theory of NAS, and there is some logarithmic error, and there is an optimization function which need to be tuned. So in this way, gradually one time comes, one generator failed to create more synthetic data, and the discriminator failed to identify that the data which was feeding by the generator is a fake data. It's not a real data. So it's a kind of tussle in between the generator and the discriminator, and ultimately the synthetic image generates. There is another way of solving this issue is, if you have prior knowledge of solving other problem domains, so from there you can gather your knowledge and you can transfer that knowledge as a frozen knowledge to solve a problem where the number of data set is very, very less. So it's a kind of knowledge transfer, or the transfer learning model. And transfer learning model is a kind of model where the number of parameters are fewer. So it's not computationally that much of expensive like GAN or neural transfer. I mean, neural time is, again, it's a low cost modeling. So it's a better than GAN sometimes from the resource point of view. There are lots of different challenges. So one major issue is, once we are dealing with the small size data, the interpretability comes into the picture, because it needs always proper explanation and interpretable of the model design, because we are feeding very less size data. So how these bimodal features can work, how the model small data size focus on the bimodal features, that need to be also investigated. And always dealing with the small data, which actually helps for the decision making to understand the meaning of the features, the uncertainty of the model design, etc. So explainable model, again, actually gives a solution for all these things, but it needs to be tested properly for the small size data. sometimes the LIME or the SHAP framework might not works very fine. We need to go into other XAI model. So that need to be properly investigated, which particular model can help for the interpretability of the small size data based learning. It is always good to, go with small data. Martin actually comes up with a nice book, which is called The Small Data, where he mentioned one thing: the small data is the foundation of all breakthrough ideas in completely new ways to understand the brands. So all breakthrough ideas actually start from the small data. It's the last one where Google in 2012 tried to come up with a prediction model of flu, but in 2015 they actually they tell that this modeling, this prediction model, it's a kind of failure model, though it is based on the big data. So this is one area which is needs to be explored. Means once you go with there is a crunch of data, less size data, how machine learning can be carried out and how explainability of those model can be carried out, that needs to be properly investigated. Thanks for your patience. Amit.
Thank you, Dr. Day, and it was a pleasure to listen to you. And on this inaugural session, actually, we were having few more guests, but unfortunately, they have not been turned up due to some, I think, technical issues or something, maybe joining of the meeting or so. So I will now request everyone to just put on the cameras to just have a digital picture of this. But we will having those keynotes during the session times when presenters are not available. So please do have a record of our mails we are getting. I think we will be getting a mail shortly of their talks we will be having, because the talk of Dr. Tatiana would be really interesting because it's on artificial intelligence. And I hope we will just mail you the next schedule. I think today or tomorrow, whenever we will be keeping the talk. So please do attend the talk, and thank you so very much for trusting the conference. And we look forward to see you next year in the 9th edition in the physical mode. And please feel free to drop a mail on support@icict.co.uk in for any of the queries or any of the responses you need even during the technical sessions. Our team will be really happy to assist you in the fast and the foremost manner we can. And regarding the publication of this conference, we are in a process of submitting the data to publisher. Already some data have been submitted, and the rest will be submitted in this coming week. And it will take approximately 4 to 5 months of the whole processing time and production and everything to get the paper published. So we hope to get this publication by, I think, August 2023. If everything is going on time. And I will request to kindly cooperate and support the production team by the Springer, so that there is no delays in the publication and everything. Thank you so very much. And this meeting will be on, the chat board is on. You can try to connect, chat within yourselves, just discussed. And what we can do just to interact and to make this session more interesting as of now, I think it would be difficult in a digital mode, but if everyone can introduce themselves in a very short manner in just 2 lines about which university they are from and which country they are from, starting alphabetically with, I think you can just assume yourself on an alphabetically list and you can just do it in a way. I think it is a difficult task, but let's have this challenge with us, as our guests are not here currently, but we will update you once they are here. So starting with the people from A alphabet, anyone would like to introduce, or I will keep it an open session if anyone want to introduce themselves. Please go ahead. Just put on your mic, and if anybody is speaking, please slow down in that case. I think Professor Sheng Ling Peng is here. I think, Professor, you would like to introduce yourself?
Oh, yes, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm Sheng Ling Peng, come from Taiwan. Yeah, tomorrow I will chair a section. I'm now the dean of National Taipei University in Taiwan. Okay, thank you.
I think Mr. Manothar Prasan, you would like to speak, Fran?
Yes, good morning. Thank you for inviting me to this conference. My name is Montatar. I'm an associate professor of informatics at Kikhansa University. And I'll also be joining as a session chair for tomorrow's conference.
Thank you so much. Professor, I think Mr. Nikolay Pavlov, would you like to speak anything?
Hello, Mr. Joshi. Hello, everyone. I'm Nikolai Pavlov, and I am associate professor at Technical University of Sofia, Bulgaria, in area of automotive engineering mainly. And I will be chairman this in the afternoon, I think.
Thank you. Professor, I think Miss Jane Christine would like to tell something about you.
Hi, good day, everyone. I am Miss Jane Christine Suarez from Bulacan State University. It is in the Philippines, so I will be also the session chair this afternoon, and nice meeting you all.
Thank you. Professor Mr. Raghav Sharma.
Hi everyone, thank you. I am Raghav Sharma from Gurgaon, India, and currently I am working in Hughes in AI department. So it's R&D team, and we are working in computer vision and ML. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Miss Marlin.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Marlin Savio from India as well. I work in a BPO called Taskus. I'm a psychologist, but we support the trust and safety domain, which looks at content moderation and such. Thank you. Excited.
Thank you. I think Miss Titin.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Titin Parwaningsih. I'm associate professor on government studies, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Carlos.
Hello, everybody. I'm Carlos Molina from the University of Granada in Spain.
Thank you. Mr. Bidyut.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vidyut Saha. I'm basically from India, but currently researching from Deggendorf Institute of Technology, Germany. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Ari.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Ari Udasmara from South Sumatra. And now I'm a lecturer in University of Sriwijaya. And my main research is in government social media. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Stephen.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm from the Technical University of Sofia, Bulgaria. I'm a PhD student and I work on intelligent systems for farm animal monitoring. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Amani.
Good day, everyone. I'm Amani Yajoke Godamosi from Nigeria. I'm a lecturer in computer science. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Savannah. Miss Savannah, okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Ozet Lukong Savannah. I'm a master's student at University of Rwanda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think Miss Lilia.
Yes.
Racheva, please go ahead.
Hello, I come from the University of Sofia, and I was really impressed by the presentation about dealing with small data. So I would like good luck to wish good luck to all the presenters. Thank you.
Mr. Pavle.
Hello, my name is Pavel Dakic, and I'm representing a university in Slovakia, Slovakia Technical University, and also I'm representing another university from Serbia, Sigdo University. I'm in the research area of search engine optimization, machine learning, high performance computing, and that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Michael David.
Good morning, everyone. I am Michael David from Federal University of Technology, Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Christian.
Hello, everyone. I'm Christian, and I'm coming from the Barcelona Supercomputing Center at Spain.
Thank you. Mr. Aditya Subhash.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so my name is Aditya. I'm actually a PhD student from James Cook University, Singapore, and I am actually presenting tomorrow on the topic of behavioral biometrics. Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Mr. Robert.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm Robert Kudelic. If you can pronounce it, you can say Kudelic if you like. Of course, warm greetings to the organizers, to publishers, and to the authors. Professor, and I have a professorship and a PhD from the University of Zagreb, faculty of the organization and the information science, and perhaps we will see each other afternoon as I chair a session.
Thank you. Ms. Jujna.
Maybe me.
Yeah.
So hi, I'm Susanna. I'm from Slovak University of Technology in Bratislava, and I'm from Faculty of Informatics and Information Technology, and I'm presenting today's afternoon.
Okay, I think Mr. Allen.
Hi, I'm from University Polytechnic of Timișoara, Romania, the Department of Computer and Information Technology. My domain of interest are software engineering, software security, applications of blockchain technology, and I will be assistant chair tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Asif.
Hello, everyone. My name is Asif Alsemi. I'm an associate professor from Corvinus University of Budapest. My field is business informatics, and I am working in investment recommender system. Today, I am a session chair, and tomorrow I have a presentation about the subject too.
Thank you, and thank you. And I didn't get the name, but it's written JDK here. So can you just introduce yourself? I think you are on mute.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gagan, and I work as a scientific assistant in Institute of Robotics, Bulgarian Academy of Sciences. Tomorrow, I'll be presenting my paper.
Thank you. Mr. Benedetto.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, FE experts. I'm Benedetto. I'm studying in University of Coimbra in Portugal. Actually, I'm living in Macau. That's the city very near to Hong Kong. So I will present my article at this afternoon. Thank you so much.
I thank you so much. I think maybe some people have turned off the camera, so they are left out. But anyways, I welcome you all, and Professor Tatiana is here, and I would like to invite her for her keynote. She is the professor in Electronics and Electrical Engineering Department, College of Engineering, Design and Physical Sciences at Brunel University, London. She is also the director of the AI Center at Brunel University. So, Professor Tatiana, I welcome you, and we are eagerly waiting to hear from you as the keynote. Over to you, Professor Tatiana.
Good morning, everyone. I hope that you will have very much productive conference the following 2 days, and you will start to learn from each other the way how research going in the area of intelligent systems. One thing which I want to tell you before we start the session, that nowadays there are a lot of different challenges associated with machine learning. AI is picking up quite a lot nowadays around us in varieties of applications. But while AI is now started to get to the area of applications, it starts to expose the advantages and disadvantages and the gaps that need to be filled in. One of the cases where it comes from our recent research, it shows that most of state-of-art on open source data sets published previously, it's done by adding more additional data to any data set to make sure that basically the gap is filled in the data sets, and the new state-of-art for a particular area has been met. The problem is that basically when we are trying to add more data into the data set, when we are working on intelligent systems, it requires significant increase on computational power. And as a result, it would require our research is slowing down. For example, like if you want to run an image that on standard GPU, which most of us will have in our laboratories, it will take us only one full run, about 18 years to run. As a result, a lot of us worldwide, like me, you, and everyone else, we are very much left outside of creating new state-of-arts in machine learning, but exploring more on techniques on how to handle the data and use application areas. What we have demonstrated with our research is that we need to start to have a look and understand the data sets better. And for example, if we are looking on distributions of the features on the data sets, most of researchers, when they add the new data set sizes, you use the augmentation techniques, and most of the cases you get the core of the data enriching this data. But our research shows that the actual value on increasing of accuracies of data sets lies not on increasing the data in the core similar data, but it's bringing diversity in. In other words, we need to start to think about how to introduce the new definitions of diversity, how we need to introduce the new definition of class densities and the class distribution. And once we start to look and analyze all the data sets prior running our machine learning techniques, intelligent systems, integrations, and applications, we will be able to significantly reduce required computational resources to complete the neural network, but at the same time, we'll be able to reach the new state of art. We have done several cases already on a number of data sets. We are at the moment holders of winners of new state of art in a number of data sets, but I can tell you a secret, which I'm telling you now. We are not working on adding a massive amount of data. We are looking on analyzing diversity of the data. And based on this, we are building the coherent data set, representative data set that will provide us with best performance. I wish you all luck. And I hope that some small remarks which I'm mentioning you now, they have been inspirational, and you will start to think about how you could use all this information in your research, and how could you use very little of energy and power, but at the same time, computational resources, but at the same time, delivering a high quality level of research. Good luck to everyone, and I'm looking for your productive sessions today and tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tatiana. And I think we are at the end of the session now. So I will again ask Dr. Day to just close the session as a technical chair of this conference, to just sum up the ideas and close the session. Thank you.
Thanks, Amit. So as I already said, it was indeed a great time we have in Brunel last 2 days. There was almost 79 presentation, maybe around 40 plus countries presenter was present in the conference. So after 2 to 3 years, there are lots of participants are again started participating physically in these conferences. I hope next year more number of participants will be there. From our program committee, we want to thank to the entire the conference committee members who worked for the review process of all those huge number of papers, submitted papers. the screening process, initial screening process and all. I want to give thanks to the publisher from publisher and Mr. Onindo Bose was there. I want to give thanks to the speaker, Tatiana, though Milan is not able to join. And there are lots of old friends are also there, like Professor Pang is there, Bansalji is there, many known faces are there still in the meeting. So it's very nice to interact all of you. Thank you again. Thanks all of you to join this meeting, this online meeting. Hope this next today and tomorrow, the sessions will be very nice and interactive session, and we'll be able to gather more knowledge on ICT and the different avenues and aspects, challenges, prospects of different ICTs. Thank you very much. Good day.
Thank you very much, and we would look forward for everyone to join us at the Brunel University for the 9th edition of the conference next year. Thank you so very much. And I think Professor Tatiana will be happy to host all of us there in the campus.
I'm looking forward to see all of you on campus next year and welcome you new in person. I will join welcome together with Amit to Brunel. I'm sure that we'll have good fun next year as well at Brunel on campus.
Thank you very much. And I think technical sessions will be on time as per schedule. So please do be available in your own session and try to attend other sessions as well to interact with the people and with your peers and everything. Thank you so very much for this and look forward to you. I think 5 more minutes, this chat box is open. Please try to connect it and just share your emails, or if anybody wants to connect with you, that will be really great. Thank you so much.